Yes, so we have started recording. We have these two test cases. I'm going to start automating this test case 2, and whatever I can automate, the remaining part will be your homework. So in the next class you make sure that your homework is ready and you come prepared in the class. Now let me again, while doing the automation, we are going to use the concept of object repository and function library, and also I am going to add another test case later on, but let's move forward with the automation part for now. So here let me go to the virtual box where I have the UFT. Let me start UFT. We have resumed recording. Now I'm going to save it again to a particular place where I want to save. Do not save your test case here and there. So inside that one I have a folder called training. Inside training folder I'm going to save it here. Let's say this folder, and I'm going to give name TC002, and what is the name of the test case? It is New Tours Book a Flight. New Tours Book a Flight. Yeah. New Tours Book Flight. Okay. Now then what I'm going to do, okay, now the first thing that I'm going to do again, what is the first thing? We are going to close if there is any browser open. So what is the statement for that? System util dot close process by name, and what is the process we are going to close? iexplode.exe, right? And then I'm not keeping any code. Remember, I'm not keeping any code inside this action. Instead, where I am going to keep the code? Can anyone tell me where I am going to put the code? In the function library, right? Yes. So I'm clicking here, add. Can you see? Actually, you will have to do file and then new, and then can you see function library? And then I'm going to save the function library inside that corresponding folder. Training, right? So let's say I'm going to give, do I have a folder for the function library? Let me see. Okay, so let me create a folder here for function library, func lib, and here I'm going to give name new tools automation. I'm just giving a name of this function library, right? And inside that function library I'm going to create a function, and I'm going to name this function as all browser, and then close. And here what is the code? This is the code, and I'm going to remove that code. And what is the purpose of this function? Again, keep a comment here. Why is this function for? Close, i.e. if already open, and you bring this function here, right? So it will basically, let's say you have a browser open, Internet Explorer. Where is the Internet Explorer this time? Let me quickly. So this is the one. Let me make a copy here. Okay. Now let's say if your browser is open, what this is going to do, it is going to, let's say, let me execute this, and obviously I'm going to select temporary. Okay. So it is basically all browser close. What is the problem that we are seeing here? Can anyone tell me? Guys, can you talk?
Line number 1.
Line number 1, what is the problem? Type mismatch. What does this mean? What does this? Yeah, what does this mean? It is saying that it is not getting that function.
Maybe spelling wrong.
Spelling wrong?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a second. I'm just quickly take care of something. So here, what we are saying, all browser closed. Shahada, you are saying that is spelling mistake.
No, I think the upper level C.
Huh? C should be upper level. Then you think if I put the C uppercase, it will solve the issue? Huh? Yeah, so we did it in the last class. I was expecting. So the purpose of asking question, remember, is I want to see you remember the last class conversation. We did the same thing. I asked the same question in the last class. Why it is showing that? I told you that we will have to associate the function library. Why you do not remember that, guys? Can you answer this question? We did the same thing in the last class. That function library you created, but you didn't associate it. You will have to associate this function library. I will ask the question again in the next class. Let's see if you can answer except Naqshbandi. So now can you see it was able to close the browser and we are done. Okay, the next part is we are going to according to our test case, right? We are starting our automation. We have to open browser. Now to open browser we are going to create another function. So open browser and actually open new tools application. Open new tools application. Okay, now what is that? Open. I'm going to give a function name. Again, this function name, I'm putting this function name because I will have to call this function from the action, right? So new tool application underscore. Normally the operation, what is the operation? Can you see? We did close, we are opening. So the operation that we are doing, we are putting it after underscore. Just this is a style, or this is a pattern that we are following in naming the function. Now here what is the thing we are going to do? Again, system util dot run and I explore.exe, and then what is the application we want to open? New tours.demo aut.com, and then I guess we have already called this function, right? Okay, so let me execute so far what we did. Okay, so was it able to open new tours demo AUT application? Yes. Okay, then the next thing is we have to verify according to our test case. We have to verify this logo, right? To verify this logo, what is the concept? We will have to use shared object repository. Now, who can answer me what is shared object repository? Why we use shared object repository? I am expecting answer from you.
Share object repository, we can repository logo or any icon, and we can share with different test cases.
So, Shahad bhai, can you answer me what is the use of shared object repository?
Yes, sir. It's basically created so you can use that view command over and over.
So yeah, you are right. So shared object repository, we are going to add the objects in the shared object repository so that we can use these objects with different test cases. We are not going to add them again and again, but we are going to use them again and again by adding those objects in the shared object repository. But from the name shared object repository, again this object repository will be shared with all of the test cases or many of the test cases, right? Now I'm going to if you come here, how do you add? Can you see this is a local object repository? If you add your object, let's say you can open this local object repository and you can add that object on that one, but I'm not going to do that, right? I'm not going to do that because if I do that, then this object will not be actually I'll add an object to the local object repository to show you something later, but I'm not going to add the object in the local object repository because these objects will be available only for this test case. So that's why I need a shared object repository. How do I do shared object repository? Resource, and can you see object repository manager, and from here you click file, save as, and then you save it. You create another folder for object repository, right? Object repository. Here you name it as new tools automation shared rep. Now again I'm going to add the object, this object. I need to verify this logo, right? Okay, now if you, how do you verify? Can you see this is the logo that we want to verify, right? Can you see how I am verifying this? Okay, this is the object. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to the repository. I'm going to name, can you see this is a page, this is a browser, class browser, this is a page, and under this page, this object Mercury web tools, it is a image, right? So we will name our object properly. Remember, we do not keep any space, any special character in the names. And what is the class here? Browser. We are adding a browser at the end, and then we come here and paste. And this object, what is this object again? This is what is the class? Image, right? Okay. Now what we are going to do, we are going to verify this object is present in our application. When we are opening the application, this object is present. Now how you do that? Again, you create a function. You create a function here. Why is this function for? Verify new tours logo. Now function, and what is the name? New. Okay, I'll name it in a different way. Let me show you. So this is the object repository. How do you bring this object here? You bring it in that way, right? And what is the name of this object? Mercury Tours image. Oh, how I bring it? Okay. And one other thing here, I will be changing Mercury Tours logo image. I'll just give it a meaningful name. And can you see I'm dragging it from there and putting it here. And can you see what is the object that I am verifying? This is the object that I am verifying. I am putting this. I'll have to copy this name. Copy, and I'm going to put it here. And what is the function? What is the operation I am doing on it? Verify. What is the operation I am doing? I am verifying this object, right? And you come here. Now what you do, if this object dot exist, you want to look for 1 second, then what you do, if this object exists, then you do a highlight on this object. You do a highlight on this object, and you put a meaningful message in the output. What is the meaningful message? What is that object? This is the object. Logo image. Yeah, this object displayed. And then if it doesn't exist, else, if this object doesn't exist, you put another meaningful message. Doesn't display. And what you do, you put a reporter event to fail this step. Why do you need to put reporter event? Can anyone answer me? Why we need to put reporter.report event? So we are saying to make this step fail, if you do not put reporter.report event, this object doesn't exist, then it, although the object is not there, it will mark the step as pass. And reporter.report event, can you see, you are putting make failed, and then you are giving where it is failing and giving a little bit description why it is failing, right? And then you are going to call this function from your action. Now if I execute it, I want to do another execution. Let me do this. Okay, let's end it. So I'll have to put a end it here. Guys, if you have any question, feel free to ask me, because if you do not ask me, although I explained it multiple times, the same thing I explained in the last class, but still you got option to ask me question. I know that. Yeah, go ahead. Sure. So, Nafisa Babi, let me tell you, make pass normally this make pass. Let's say if I want to use it, so that is where in this block, if our step is passed, we are using this step. We can put a make pass here. We can put a make pass here. Reporter dot report event and then
That's what I was doing in some of the cases. But if we don't do it, then it's okay, isn't it?
yeah, it is okay, but because still it will pass, it will, the step will mark as passed.
So when should we pay attention and then do the mix part?
So see, you need to put this make pass. If you, let's say, when I will be executing, right, you will see in the report, it will, when we done with the execution, it will show. If it fails, it will show okay, it passed, it failed here. If you need to display it, if you need to pass something by force, then you use it. Normally you do not need to use it, but if you need to pass the step by force, normally we do not need to, because it is by default it will be passed.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Now, again, what I was saying, if you have any question, feel free to ask me. I know I described the same steps in the last class, but it seems like many of you were not able to go through the steps. So if you want to clarify anything, feel free to ask me question. Now I am going to put that step in my action and I am going to execute it again. You will see there will be a failure here, and I will be requiring this answer from you why it is failing here.
Sarulai,
Yeah,
I have one question
sure.
how you put it that one is that highlight and how you put it on the action.
I am just copying and pasting it over there.
Okay, I get it.
Okay. Now, can you see it is failing here? Can anyone tell me why it is failing here?
Line number 11 is function. Line number 11 browser.
Yeah, I am expecting answer. Can anyone tell me why it is failing here?
Did you associate the share object repository? I didn't pay attention if you associate or not.
So what is the other folks saying? Guys,
the answer is right there at the first line. It is not in the object repository.
so the object,
PDF.
yeah,
Object,
object repository is here. Cannot you see that the object repository is here, but why it is still saying object repository related error? Because we didn't associate that object repository. And make sure you save your object repository and then you right click here, associate repository, and you associate this repository. Can you see? So if you are using any object repository, you will have to bring the object repository here in the action. You will have to associate it. If I execute it again,
so basically that particular thing has to be in the repository and the repository has to be associated with.
yeah, that is correct. Okay, now can you see what is the result? It failed here, right? Can you see it failed here? Now let me see why it failed. So if you come here, you will see the point. Can you see Mercury towards logo image verify, right? So logo image verify, Mercury towards logo image doesn't display. Can you see the object Mercury towards logo image verify and details? Mercury towards logo image verify, the image we didn't get the image, right? Now the image is there, right? Why it is not? So if I have a, let me go there, that is where we are verifying logo image. I am putting a breakpoint here for something, and I will be again asking you a question. So if I execute it again, right? Now if I go there and keep executing, right, can you see now it is able to verify and it is not failing, it will not be failing. Can you see it is not failing now?
Why it failed is the beginning, right?
Yeah, my question, why it failed? I do not know. Can anyone answer?
Need wait statement because it was too.
Oh, this maybe this time is not enough time. It was not enough time.
Yeah, that is the answer. That is the answer. Like we are opening the application, and while it is opening, it takes a little bit time. In the meantime, we are checking if the logo exists. We are checking the logo before the website fully loaded. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, and one other thing, Nafsababi, can you see when it is passing? Can you see you do not have details here, right? In the result. So if you want to give a details, what you do, you provide a reporter dot report event, right? You put
Okay, yes.
might pass and you put
The reporter got report event like almost like system dot out dot read like that.
yeah. So it's almost like this. Can you see view last run results? So if you come here, for every step, if you look at the result, if you put reporter dot report event make pass, then you will see. Can you see now? You know what is the thing we are seeing here? We are seeing here something system is putting, not in our choice. Can you see Mercury logo image dot exist, object exist, right? So if you execute, let me take a screenshot of this last run results, and from there let me take a screenshot. Right, I'm taking a screenshot to show you the difference. Now one other thing, it was failing, folks. What was the reason? Because we are opening the application and then straight away we are trying to verify this logo, right? So what you can do, you can up to the page you can put a sync, and then it will be waiting for the page to be fully loaded, and then it will be going for check, right? So it is the situation. Let's say someone asks you, okay, so can you make sure that in the store this delivery exists? So this delivery comes at 12. If you check at 11, you will not get that delivery, right? So when we are opening the application, it is taking a little while. Before the page fully loaded, we are looking for that Mercury Tours logo. That's why it is failing here. Now if you execute, even though you do not have a breakpoint, like last time when we execute, we had a breakpoint here, we waited and then we verified. Now we do not have a breakpoint, but we have a sync statement, and hopefully it will resolve this issue. Right, it was able to resolve the issue. Okay, and you can see from the last run result, if you go there, this is the previous one. So can you see last time it was like that, and if you go to the result that generated this time, right, if you go there, can you see we have details: Mercury Tours logo image verify Mercury, it displayed as we wanted. And if you compare it with the last time's one, can you see it was average, but this time when we put our mic pass, it looks more meaningful. Does it make sense? Guys, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Alright. So let me move forward with the further discussion. Now we have verified the logo. Next step, what is our next step? Our next step is to input a username here, right? Our next step is to input a username in this space. Before I input the username, we will have to make sure that this username text box displayed. So before we input any value or before we interact with any object in the page, we verify if this object exists. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to bring another concept, guys. Here I'm going to bring the concept of descriptive programming. Okay, so sometimes you will have to do descriptive programming. And how do you do descriptive programming? Guys, are you there? So I'm bringing another concept of descriptive programming. In the interview, people will ask you, can you tell us what is descriptive programming? And then you will have to answer what is descriptive programming. In you have seen that in the object repository we have added object, and then we have dragged and dropped that object in the code. But alternatively, you can use descriptive programming, then you will not need to use object repository. So how do you do descriptive programming? I'll show you here. If you go to
you will put the header basically of the object repository in order to program understand what exactly it is.
What is the question again, Shahid bhai? Please go ahead.
No. You asked me the question. I was just trying to answer that. How does the object? I'm sorry. How does the scripting work? Like, you don't put the object repository, but you write down the hierarchy, the class, the name of the object, so that the what is it called? The code understands what exactly we mean.
Absolutely, yeah. So in descriptive programming, we do not add the object in the repository. Instead, we provide the description of the object. What we do? We provide the description of the object without using object repository. So how you do that? Let me show you. Can you see the object spy here? So this is the object spy. I'm going to take the object spy, and then I'm going to spy on this object. Can you see, right? Now if you take a look, right, you will see many hierarchy here. Can you see browser, and under this browser there is a page, under this page there is a table, and under this table there is another table, 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 and under this table there is another table, and under that one this web edit, right? This web edit. Can you see it is inside how many tables? So when you are adding it in the object repository, the software, the SPQTP tool itself, UFT tool itself, it removes all of this hierarchy, all of this table, and simplify the hierarchy, right? So it is like, let's say you have a big house. Inside that big house you have a you have 5 office, right? Office 1, office 2, office 3, office 4, office 5, and inside office 2 you have multiple department. Let's say accounting department, logistic department, admin department, multiple department. Inside logistic department there is a department called, let's say, operation. There is a department called another, and inside operation department there is 5 team, and inside the team there is a people. Inside the team there is a people like you, me, one. It is same thing. You have a big browser and page. Under this page you have a table, and under this big table you have another table, you have another table, right? Can you see how many table we have? So it is, when you are adding the object in the repository, QTP simplify that object. It only keeps browser, page and the root object. So we will take the description similarly, the description of the browser, description of the page and description of the root object. Does it make sense, everyone? Okay, how do you take description? This is the browser. Can you see this copy? I am going to copy all of the description and I am going to put it in a notepad. So these are the description for the browser. Can you see class name browser? So these are all the description. As I said previously, let's say you live in Danuri. So you have a door number, you have a street number, you have a city, you have a zip code, right? So same thing, every object in the page has their description, and one of the description is the browser. Browser has some description, and then I'm going to bring description for the page, and I'm going to put this description. Can you see class name page? And then I'm going to go to the object itself. What is the object? This is the object. I'm not going to take description of all of the in between object. So I'm taking browser, page and the object itself, right? So can you see we have it. So these 3 layer, like how many layer? 3 layer. We are taking the description of 3 layer. One is browser, another one is page, and another one is web edit. So the page is under the browser and the object is under the page. So this is a 3-level hierarchy, remember. So the web edit, it has a, this is a child object. It has a parent. What is the parent for this web edit? Is the page. And this page has a parent. What is the parent of this page? Is browser. Right? And under the browser we have lot of, maybe more than one page, and under the page we have many objects, right? Is that correct statement?
Yes.
So if you highlight the page, or normally page and browser, if you highlight they will appear as same. So if you highlight this page, can you see? If you highlight this page, this is the page, and inside the page we have lot of objects. So these objects are child and their parent is that page, right? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to write another function. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to write another function here, right? This function is to verify that user name web edit username web edit exists, right? Now I'm going to write a function for this. User name web edit. What is the operation that we are doing? Verify, right? And then I'm going to, so what is the level? 3 level. First one is browser, right? And then what is the next level? Page. And what is the object that we are going to verify? What is the class of that object? What is the class of that object? Web edit. Yeah, and you put page and then web edit, right? Okay, now what is the description of the browser? If you take a look, what is the description we have? Remember, this x, this coordinate will change. You do not want to use them. You do not want to use the application version. Normally we use, can you see this name, title? Normally we use name, open title, and title, this description. So what I am going to do, I have name here, I am going to copy this name. You will see if there is any HTML ID. If you have HTML ID, you will be using HTML ID. If you do not have HTML ID, you are going to use name, title, or open title, any of the attribute. So I am copying this attribute. I am going to put it in the description of the browser, and then I am going to take the description of the page. Can you see we do not have HTML ID, but we have title. So I am going to take the description of the title and I am going to put it here. And then can you see web edit? I will see what is the attribute we have for that web edit. So if you look here,
We have title, text.
do you have HTML ID? Do you have anything in HTML ID? No, right?
No.
It is empty. Then see what is the can you see we have a name, username?
Name.
Yeah, we are going to use this name attribute and put it here, right? And then we will put a if condition here, if this dot exist, and we will put 3 seconds, right? Then what do? If this exists, you do a highlight.
What do you write down? 3.
Oh, I am asking, just keep looking for that object for 3 seconds.
Oh, I see. Okay.
If you do not get it within 3 seconds, then it will fail.
Okay.
So, Onabhai,
Mm-hmm.
it's better before you can write them like a change, so it's not a before that each again or one second.
Which one again, Munirbai?
Like change. S-I-N-K. If you put it on the.
Oh, sync. Okay. So here,
Yeah.
remember, we already verified the logo. The page is already synced. Can you see in this function we already synced the page? We are working on the same page. We are not going to a new page. We are in the same page. That's why we do not need to do sync again. Does it make sense, Munirbai?
Yes. Yes.
So if this object exists, then we are doing a highlight. Yeah, and then we are giving a meaningful message, print user name web edit or text box displayed. And then else we are saying reporter dot report event might fail, and then we are putting what step? This is the function, right?
Yeah.
It is failing in this. And what is the message? Username web edit didn't display. Didn't display. And then you put a message here as well. Didn't display, right? And then you call your function. Now we wrote the description and we didn't add that object in the repository, right? So now if you execute it again, so it is it is asking, there is a error here, right? Let me stop it. We will have to provide a end if, right? Here can you see we do not have a end if, we will have to provide a end if. Now if you write it, so without adding the object in the repository, we were able to verify that object by using descriptive programming. Now, do you understand what is descriptive programming?
What is the descriptive programming, or how is that?
What?
Descriptive.
Descriptive programming. Can you see we are giving,
Okay.
we over there we have the objects in the repository, we just drag and drop, but here we are giving the description of the object. Okay, we are giving the description of the object and it is taking care of it.
Instead of saying Munir, we are saying like it is a very smart boy there. We can figure out easily that is Munir, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the description of Munir.
Yeah, okay. Now if you come here, let me see if I am still recording. Yeah, I'm recording. Okay. Now, Ji, what?
We are going to finish inshallah by 12, right?
If I go, let's say up till 12:20, will that be okay?
I will have to leave, but that's fine. I'll get the recording, no problem.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Now we got the description. You know how we are writing descriptive programming, right?
Right.
Okay. Then, so we have what? We have
I
add.
just get a quick question.
Sure.
The way you just copied and put in the notepad, you just did it for
Yeah.
us to see, but usually we don't have to do that, right?
Usually you know, sometimes you will have to write description. You will have to put it in the notepad and then you will have to do it. But normally we add the objects in the repository and we do it. But sometimes, you know, it will not work, or you may not be able to write, you know, add the object in the repository. Then you will have to add, you know, do the description.
Right.
Hmm?
The question, my
Sure.
understanding was descriptive, because then whenever the attribute is not working, the description is not working, having difficulties, then only we go for shared object repository. But my understanding was thoroughly descriptive. That's what I was thinking. Would you please kindly tell us?
No, you do not see. You do not want to use thoroughly descriptive, because it makes your life hard when there is a maintenance. Let's say every time there will be new code drop, then you will have to change the description. Now if you use this object in 10 places, or in practical life you will have to use this object in hundreds of places in different purpose. Then if you write the description, you will have to, like, if the application, you know, change, if you need to change the description, you will have to go to 100 place and you will have to change this description of this object. But if you have the object in the object repository, then if the description of the object change, then you only change in the object repository and then you are done. Does it make sense?
Okay, thank you.
Does it
Yeah,
make sense?
okay.
So basically we're trying to make like shared object repository so that we can use them over and over.
Yeah.
We opt there if we have to do that instead of writing the descriptive. And if we write down the descriptive and it's being changed, we have to change the whole description. Is that what you're telling?
Yeah. So see, we are using this object here to verify, right? And then in some other test case, you might be using the same object for some other purpose. So if you have used that object in 10 places in the script, then if the description of the object change, you will have to make change in 10 places. But if you use it, if you add it in the object repository, if you change the description in the object repository, it will be changed all over the 10 places, because you are just dragging and dropping it, and you do not need to change anything in the code. So that is the advantage of using object repository.
So what is mostly being used in real life?
In real life, mostly we use object repository.
And shared object.
Yeah, shared object repository. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So, Tanur bhai,
Mm-hmm.
so this question is coming like, what is a descripting program? So how are we going to get the answer?
So in descriptive programming, we provide the description of each of the object in the code.
Oh,
We provide the description of the object.
okay.
Okay. All right. Now see, in this object, right? In this object, now if you in this web edit, we are going to input data, right? So what we are going to do, I'm going to have another function, input a username, right? Input user name. Now the function here, what is the function? User web edit, user web edit.
Verification.
No, verification is done. Now we are going to input data, user web edit input, or let's say set. We are setting data. Now to set data, let me copy this, right, and paste it here. Dot set, right? Now let's say I want to input username as automate code 1, right? Let's say your description changed. Now what you will have to do, you will have to change description here, you will have to change description here. Is that correct? 2 places. If you need to change it in 10 places, 100 places, then it will be difficult. But if you have the object in the repository, then you change it in the object repository, and you do not need to change anything in the code. Okay. Now username web edit set, and I'm going to put the username web edit set here. Okay. Now if you execute it again, right, username web edit set, it was able to input the information. And after username information web edit set, our next task is to verify that this password web edit exists, right? So do you want me to use descriptive programming again, or I can use object repository? Do you understand? If you understand of descriptive programming, then I'm going to add object repository. What do you want me to use? Guys, are you there?
We understand both.
Okay, so then I'm going to use object repository.
Yeah, that will be the mostly we'll be using.
But you need to learn it. You need to have clear concept on descriptive programming too.
So okay, so then you do that one.
I will do that one for the. We already did descriptive programming for a text box. I'm going to do descriptive programming for this one, this sign in. But let me add this password in the object repository. Now this is the password, and password web edit, right? Let me make this P uppercase. Password, what is the class? Web edit.
Web edit.
Okay. Now I'm going to verify that this password web edit exists. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to, in the function library, I'm going to write a verify function. So I'm just copying this text from here. I'm going to paste it here. And what is that? What is that? Password verify password web edit, right? So password web edit verify, right? I do not need a sync here because we are in the same page. Now I am going to bring that object. What is that object? Password web edit verify. Make sure you are saving your object repository, otherwise you will have to do the work again because the object will not be there. I am going to copy this and I am going to paste it here. Password web edit exists, and then I am going to copy this. Actually, if it exists, I am going to do a highlight, and then let's say instead of using this one, I am going to put it here. I am going to put it here. I am going to put it here. Here and there, right? And then I'm going to put it over there, right? And then password web edit set. I will have a similar function for password web edit set. So I'm going to put function here. Input password, right? And then function password web edit set, and inside that I will bring that object. What is that object? This is the object, password web edit. I'm going to put it here, dot set. What is the password? The password is L12345.
Password.
Password is L12345. I think this is the password. Let me verify. L12345. Sign in. Yeah. So that is the. Let me see. Yeah, that is the password. Now we are going to input the password, and then let's say if your description is changed, you go to the object repository, right? This password will be it. So what I am going to do, let's say somehow it got wiped out. It got wiped out. Smart identification false. Now if you try to highlight this object, can you see? It is not able to highlight the object, right? Can you see this password web edit? It is not able to highlight. So how you resolve this issue? New tools. So try to understand what I am trying to explain here. Can you see here? This password web edit, it is no longer able to identify that object because the description changed. So what do? You come to the object repository, and can you see this? Can you see update from application? Guys, I want you to focus here. Can you see update from application? This button here. First you select the object and update from application, and you do this. And then can you see that now it will be able to highlight the object, and you do not need to touch code. You just changing it in the object repository. But if you write description, you will have to change it here and here in both places. Does it make sense? Okay, so I'm going to start execution now. So it is able to input user ID and password. We are good, right? Now what is the next step, folks? Our next step is click on sign in button, right? So I'm going to go to function library again. Before I go to function library, I'm going to add this object to the repository. What is that object? This is the object that we are going to work with. I'm going to write a description of this object. Is that correct? So if I want to write the description, what I will have to do, so this is the object, we know the description. Okay, so this is the object that we are going to interact. Now what is the description? We are in the same page, so we do not need to worry about the description of the browser and page. I am going to get the description of that image. So I am going to go there and I am going to put it here. What is the object type? It is image, right? Can you see? Now I will be writing a function for this. So can you see, verify, we have this function here, descriptive programming. I am going to copy this and I am going to paste it here and verify that sign in image exists, right? So sign in image verified, right? So we are in the same page. So the description of the browser, the description of the page is same. I am going to add the description of the, what is the object type here? Can anyone tell me? It is a image, right? If you go back to the description, can you see it is a image? And what is the description that we are going to do? We can take that image type. So let me take this description. Okay, and then go to there and put the description of the image. Put the description of the image, right? And then what is that? Sign in image displayed. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Interruption. So here we are verifying that sign in image verify, sign in image, right? Okay. If sign in image exists, we want to click on sign in. Then next function will be click on sign in, right? So I'm going to write a function sign in click. So I already did verify, and then I'm going to click here, dot click, and then we are going to say end function, and then I'm going to call that function. So this is the sign in click, this is the sign in verify. Now if you execute it, So let's see if probably it will not be able to verify the sign in. Probably our description is not enough. Probably we are seeing error message here. Okay, can you see that if I click debug, now the problem here is, can you see we have web edit, we are working with image, but we have by mistake we have web edit image tag. So that is why it is failing here. Do you understand why it is failing here? Can you see we are working with, we have provided the description of a image, but we have mentioned here, can you see web edit? That is why it is failing here. So we will have to make modification here. So instead of web edit, actually we are working with an image. So what I am going to do here, instead of web edit, I am going to make it image, right? Now if you execute, let me remove this text from here and then let me do the execution. Right, can you see it is clicking on sign in, and it was able to click on sign in. Folks, Nafisa Babi, are you there?
Yes, Salwata, yes.
Okay, so can you see how it is clicking on sign in, and we are now signed in. I know there is a message appearing. I'll say do not show it again, click OK. Right, now we got the page here. And let me tell you one thing here, if you are not doing the homework, it seems like I'm telling you over the weeks that you need to do your homework, you need to prepare for the class. If you are not doing the homeworks and class, like if you are not paying for proper attention, I will not bring more new topics. I will make the course short. I will assume that you are not able to take it. I will not go that far. So take it. If you are not doing the homeworks, I will not make this course long. I will shortcut. I will make the course a short one. All right.
Yes, I know it takes lots of time, right? So please give us little time, because I was able to show some of you, but I did hurry. I didn't understand some of those, but still I was able to finish your video and homework, right?
Yeah. You are able to finish, but I want more explanation. When you are giving the explanation, you will have to provide what you did.
Yeah.
If you are not able to provide the explanation, then it seems like you didn't understood.
Yes, that's the problem I'm having, because you are the expert, you are doing it very quick, but it takes lots of time. Last night I finished about 3 o'clock, but still I don't understand a lot of things.
So what
You need to,
we are giving you fair enough time.
just 1 week.
All right.
What we will try, inshallah.
Yeah, sure. Now take a look here. So when our login is successful, what is the thing that we are supposed to verify? If our click on sign in button, flight finder page will be appeared, right? Flight finder page will be appeared. Now we have to make sure that we got the flight finder page. We have to make sure that we got this object. So I'll be writing
Finder.
yeah, flight finder. Now let me add this object in the repository flight finder, right? So can you see now when you are logged in, now you are no longer in the welcome to Mercury page, Mercury tours page, right? You are in a different page. Now you are in a find a flight page. Can you see this? So we are no longer in this page. This object added under a different page. Note that. Okay. So now I am going to change the name. Find flight Mercury page, and this one, let's say I'm going to give it a meaningful name, flight. Each of the
Flight finder image.
Yeah, flight finder, every word you make it uppercase. Flight finder image, right? We are going to verify this flight finder image exists. So I'm going to write a function to verify that flight finder. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy another function that has the verification one. And can you see how I am copying and pasting and modifying the function? So this is, again, I'm going to write this function for this flight finder, right? Now I'm going to put it here. Highlight. Then what is the object? This is the object. So flight finder image, right? Flight finder image, verify flight finder image, and then here I am going to put flight finder, here I am going to put flight finder, here I am going to put flight finder, right? I am going to call this function, right? And then I am going to execute it again. Right? So if you take a look here, this message Mercury Tours logo, we will have to change it. Now if I go to the, it is putting a wrong message here. I need to change this one as well, right? So we have verified up to flight finder image, right? So now you have seen, you have got more information on how to use object repository and function library. You have learned what is descriptive programming, and hopefully I am going to send you these 2 test cases. Before next class, you make sure you have created these 2 test cases. So after this class, I am going to send you this information, and make sure before the next class you are preparing on this information. Alright, I am going to stop recording here. If you have any question, I will be answering your question after that. I will keep this session shorter, but thank you for joining. I will talk to you in the next class. Let me stop recording first.